Strong humans, how's it going? I am in a hotel in SoCal doing some consulting today, and I figured I might as well show you guys kind of like this is what I do at home too. But I want to talk to you very quickly. Hopefully, this video isn't being too long about why learning how to have the right amount of tension in your body at any given point in time is important. And when I say tension, I also mean learning how to not have too much tension when you don't need it is extremely important for your health, for your recovery, even for your performance. And also why different movement practices can help you learn how to have the correct amount of tension within your body and what that does. So let me first tell you the problem that we're trying to solve. Whether you're somebody who lifts a lot, or whether you're somebody who, let's say that you don't do a lot of lifting, but maybe you sit down for work a lot and you're stuck in certain positions during your day. Every single human, every single person has a different relationship with tension in the body, chronic tension. Certain people develop TMJ, which is a lot of tension within the jaw area. Sometimes it's caused by stress, etc. Stress can cause certain amounts of tension. Certain amounts of tension in different parts of the body can cause lower back pain, shoulder pain, neck pain, headaches, right? And, a lot of problems can obviously be solved by developing some levels of strength. But again, even when it comes to developing strength, there's a certain amount of tension that you must create when exercising to keep your joints and your body safe, okay? In the video I did with strength side, you'll notice that there was a point where I talked about the sandbag teaching you how to create intelligent tension to meet the demand. Because since the weight is shifting and since your body will be moving a little bit more than it would be when you're working with a barbell, you need to learn how to breathe while moving that load, which will allow you to create just the right amount of tension to lift a sandbag safely. Now, the reason why you see me right now, I'm doing a bit of tissue work on my back as I'm talking to you, and I do levels of tissue work every single day. I might not hit every single part of my body every single day, but throughout the course of a week, I will hit every single part of my body. This includes my feet, my neck, my head, my everywhere, right? My hip flexors, my glutes, my gooch. Oh my gosh. And the reason why I do this is because as humans, why do I even phrase it like that, as humans? We should be able to access the spectrum of tension that we need for any given demand. So as I mentioned prior, when you're doing something like a squat, you're going to create a bit more tension than you would be ideally when you're asleep. But the problem is many times people who lift as their sport, athletes in general, much of the population, we hold on to tension when we don't need it. So maybe even when we're sitting, when we're sleeping, when we're just trying to relax and chill, we have areas of our body that are holding on to excessive amounts of tension, right? And that area is not just off. And because those areas are holding on to tension when we do not need that tension to meet any type of demand, it causes our body to be a bit more stressed. It causes certain pain to form in certain areas. It even messes with the way we sleep, because even when we're sleeping, our body isn't able to fully turn off and relax and just go limp, because there are certain tissues that are holding too much tension at that point in time. This is why soft tissue work is very, very important. There's a course inside of the Strong Human community called Become Your Own Body Worker, where I go over how to do soft tissue work on many different parts of your body, using different tools that I really enjoy, like this body lever here, these tune-up fitness balls. I don't have this in there yet, this rapid release tool, but I really freaking like it because it allows you to attack areas that are otherwise very difficult. But where was I going with this? Yes, you will learn how to do your own body work, right? And find areas of your body, any area that like you put pressure on, you're like, ooh, right? You know that you need to learn how to breathe, relax and bring pressure into those tissues, move those tissues around so that they can hold less tension when at rest. And then when you need it, they can hold on to the necessary amount of tension, right? Now, the place where this all kind of starts is, of course, your breath, right? In the Become Your Own Body Worker course, I talk about how when doing soft tissue work, you want to breathe, and you want to breathe primarily into the diaphragm. Actually, breathing is where all of this starts, because many people don't tend to breathe into their diaphragm. They tend to breathe into their chest, using a lot of auxiliary muscles. But because many people don't want to have this 360-degree expansion into their diaphragm, and they tend to breathe up here, they tend to hold a lot of tension within their trunk. They hold tension in their lower back, and this tension radiates into other areas because this center of our body is not allowed to flux in and out as you breathe, right? Another point, and I'll put this podcast within, I'm going to be posting this in the school community, so I'll put it within the chat. We did a podcast with Gil Headley. He's worked with the most dead bodies and cadavers probably than anybody currently alive. And even Gil was talking about how, when people defecate and urinate, people tend to push, right? Create tension to do a practice, to do something that you're actually supposed to relax with. You're supposed to breathe and let those things come out, not push to make it come out. So we create tension in situations that we don't need tension. And then we wonder why there are so many aspects of pain and discomfort that are popping up within our body. Even when we bend down to tie our shoes, we hold our breath to try and do so, right? So the breath plays a big role in this. And when you're doing any type of tissue work, you want to make sure that your breath is, that you're breathing, that you're not holding your breath, right? So with that being said, of course, soft tissue work is something that is very important, and it gives you a way to analyze your own body, because you'll be able to do tissue work on, let's say that I took this right here, or actually, let's just say I took the body lever, I come here and I hit my trap, and that trap is just like, it's not handling pressure well. I'm wincing and holding my breath, okay? Let me breathe, put pressure into that area. Find a specific spot that tends to maybe be really tight. Move around with it. Oh, move around with it. Okay. Then I go out and move around, and I notice I have a little bit more play with that area, because now I'm not holding as much tension there. We want every part of our body to be that supple. But again, I want you to realize this. When it comes to tension, when I'm just chilling right here, I don't want to be holding excessive amounts of tension. But if I go and I pick up a sandbag, I want to be able to create the tension necessary to pick up that load. If I put a barbell on my back and I need to squat, I want to be able to create the tension necessary to squat that barbell. But I do not want to take the tension that I was using to do that squat or do that sandbag lift. I do not want to take that tension in the times that I'm resting, that I'm sleeping, that I'm trying to relax. And many of us do. Many of us, if we were to sit and do a body scan right now, many people would find that they might be holding a lot of tension here in their lower back, and maybe even their gooch. You might notice if you're standing, you might be kind of tightening your butthole a little bit without even realizing that you are, because you're holding excessive amounts of tension in areas that you don't need to be. That means that your nervous system is a little bit more on the sympathetic fight or flight side than the parasympathetic rest or digest side. And when we're just chilling, when we're sitting around, when we're sitting and doing work, when we want to sleep, when we want to chill, we want to be in a parasympathetic state. We want to be breathing into the diaphragm. We want our body to be recovering. And this is one of the other byproducts of holding too much tension. That's a negative byproduct. We'll tend to be in an overall more sympathetic tone in times where we shouldn't be, in times where we shouldn't be stressed, which causes us to not be able to recover as well as we potentially could. So this problem of overall too much chronic tension actually hampers our ability to recover from the stressful workouts or exercises or even stressful situations that we might put ourselves in. When we're supposed to be recovering, we then have a harder time recovering because our body is still holding on to the excessive amounts of tension that we were creating when we were doing other types of activities. This is one of the reasons why, again, I really enjoy practices like the rope, practices like juggling, practices that allow you to work on coordination without excessive amounts of tension so that you can learn to move freely without creating too much tension. Again, lifting is where we create tension, is where we build muscles, where we build some levels of strength. Other practices allow us to learn to move and flow and breathe without creating all of that tension so that we can access it when we need it and let go of it when we don't. The martial art or jiu-jitsu. I love the martial art because there are times where you have to put weight into your opponent and put as much pressure from your body into them. But there are times where you need to move around and be able to be fluid and hold minimal tension so that you can move freely with what you're doing, right? The best martial artists are the ones that can have accesses to both. And the ones that are stuck are maybe stuck on one side of the spectrum and they have a weakness on the other. So this is why not only is taking care of your soft tissue a very, very important thing for your body over time, and if you have any type of chronic pain, etc., but also having practices like rope flow, juggling, etc. are super helpful. I'll show this to you real quick. This is the rapid release tool. It's not on the Stronger Human yet, but it's gonna be soon. I really like it because unlike a Theragun that's really percussive and can actually cause a level of damage, this is just high level vibration that goes much faster than the Theragun. I think this goes up to like 9,000 or 10,000 RPMs, whereas the Theragun goes up to 3,500. But the cool thing I like about this is that I can obviously put this on skin, but I can also put it directly on bone, right? So this is my kneecap. I'm able to hit along the kneecap safely without injuring myself. I'm able to take this, I'm able to put it directly on my skull, right? So I can bring this level of tissue work and movement of these tissues over areas that would typically be too sensitive to be able to handle that. I can attack it with this. I can hit my collarbone. I can hit my sternum. There's a practice called the reflex performance reset. We talked to J.L. Holdsworth, I believe 5 or 6 years ago on the Power Project, where the reflex performance reset, they use pressure, vibration, and levels of massage to help athletes be able to gain access to parts of the nervous system, but it helps their nervous system stop guarding certain aspects of movement, because it helps activate certain areas of their body that typically aren't activated through movement. But we realize that when I do this, there is a level of movement that is happening to tissues. Even right now where I have this directly on my rib cage, there's a level of movement and vibration that's happening at the rib cage that otherwise wouldn't be possible for those tissues. So anyway, I say that to say, the primary tools I like using are the tune-up fitness balls from Jill Miller. You can get these on Amazon, and at some point I'd like to get these on the Stronger Human store. The body lever, which is available at the Stronger Human store. And this right here, the rapid release tool, which will be available at the Stronger Human store. And obviously, I talked a little bit about rope flow, but I just wanted to give you that quick primer. I'm working on a broader video about this that's going to go into many concepts and help you fully understand all of these ideas in an integrated fashion, so it makes the global idea make sense. Because it's not just about body work, it's not just about rope flow, it's not just about holding too much tension in your ass, in your gooch. It's about how all these things work together and then how you can solve this problem for yourself. Anyway, just wanted to share that with you. Hope you guys are having a great Friday. I know I'm about to. Talk soon.